There will be no butt punts today. No butt punts. I promise. I promise. Can we make this promise, the group of us?
I hope not.
No butt punts?
No, I hope there is more. But I hope there's more Mark Sanchez run into butts. I hope there's more butt punts. I'm here for butts. I like butts.
Did you see on SportsCenter last night, top 10 butt stuff? And you hear the back. He goes, it's butt. He says, what he goes, it's butt highlights. And he's like, sorry. Top 10 butt stuff. Yes. Nothing like butt stuff in football. Welcome to That Helps No One FantasyCast on the Dean Blundell Network. I am joined with 3 other like-minded people that would like to discuss fantasy football with you and with me in this forum right now. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. First and foremost, Chris, you're looking down at your keyboard, maybe typing in something illegal. I don't know.
You hope it was on the keyboard. I'm fantastic.
Welcome to the show.
The voice is starting to get back to normal, so
I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I miss Smokey Chris.
Sorry, guys. I'll do my best to get cross-checked in the throat again. Soccer starts next week. Maybe I'll get like someone will just kick the ball really hard and hit me in the throat and just set me backwards.
Maybe if you mean mug someone, that'll happen. Yeah. Okay. Steve, your voice has always been there. Good day.
I've been told I have the voice of our generation.
Someone's
also
generation.
And Kyle, he said my voice is hot, so there's that.
Someone's generation.
Making my friends' dreams come true.
Which friends?
Just Kyle.
Okay, that's one person. Cool.
He really, in the grand scheme of things, matters a lot. So
Kyle has always been jealous of Steve in many different aspects, like sportsing and hair.
He's
and
got
obviously voice now. Yeah.
So you got the trifecta. Way to go. Way to go. And you're good at footballing on the screen. So that's good. So you're doing something right.
I haven't lost yet, so I haven't done anything wrong other than being a least efficient manager.
You know what? I bet it's because you had that 17th round pick. That's why you made it work.
Hey, sometimes you just get Lamar'd week after week.
Oh,
hey,
I'm looking forward to that at some league. Ted, you also are on the show. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys too.
Okay.
Love these little get-togethers. I'm a little disappointed to find out that we're not talking about butts, but
I mean, we can. We're gonna get into that soon. I didn't load the clip, so
my butt hurts today. If you guys really want to talk about butts, my butt hurts.
Okay, let's get into this. So we were going to talk about the butt punt. And
is that different than being butt hurt, like when you beat me after going undefeated?
It's much, much different.
Is it like being butt hurt when you
Ring of Fire?
When you trade Chubb for an average running back?
God.
Those are both butt hurt scenarios, I feel
every time I see Nick Chubb do well, I just kick myself. That's like time and time again.
Yeah.
In the butt.
Fleeced
I feel like we're even because you won the league with Jacobs on your roster.
I did.
And you traded me Chubb and he's awesome. Fair is fair. Yeah, I think you can take me off the trade embargo list.
Yeah, but like I gave you a first round pick to get Nick Chubb. And then a season later I traded him back to you plus a 3rd round pick for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
you're like
but it was for a reason. It wasn't just like I just asked you and then played Jedi mind tricks or something like that. Like you were on a playoff run and you won the league, so it was the right call.
So you're complaining that you won.
I think that's what's happening right now. Yeah.
Wow, sore loser. You're happy. You know what? Your trophy should be ready this week. So at some point we'll meet at the undisclosed.
I think at this point it should probably show up with some beer in it too.
You know what? Someone else said that, and I said no. I don't remember who it was. I think I just said, no, that's fine. I'm good, thank you.
I would, but in my defense, I'm not going to.
No is the actual answer. So you should have your trophy. You're on there twice now.
With all due respect, no.
No, not going to happen. Yeah, you'll be okay. You won twice. So, I mean, good for you. Well done. That is something to be proud about in life because I bring that trophy in every year and I keep telling the guy, maybe this will be the year. And he just looks at me. He just gives me the blank stare like, oh, silly boy.
And he laughs and laughs.
Give me your money, and I will give you your trophy back with someone else's name on it. It's kind of awkward. So you guys saw the butt punt, obviously, pretty awesome. It will go down in butt lower as one of those plays. I mean, how you're in the moment, you're about to make that kick. Are you aware of who's 2 feet in front of you? Like, don't you think you need that spatial awareness that, hey, we're in the end zone, there's not a lot of room, maybe move like a foot?
So I was listening to Pat McAfee on the Manning cast last night.
Yes.
And he said it's actually the guy who had the ball kicked into his butt. It was his fault because he backed up. He's like, when you're backed up in the end zone like that, he's like, you have to push forward. Don't go backwards towards the punter.
Right.
But I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny that like right before it happened, I think the play-by-play guy was like, do they kick it? Do they take a safety here? And the Dolphins like, no, we kick. And then
Here we go. Now we have the butt punt.
Yeah.
It was and then there was the safety that we saw. That was now remind me what game that was. I had all my stats all together. There was who had the Dolphins had the safety, right? Wasn't it the safety, and then they threw who threw the picks? Who threw the pick six?
The 49ers.
Yeah, but it didn't count.
Jimmy G went out the back of the end zone.
That's right.
Letting Dan Orlovsky off the hook.
Yeah.
But then he threw the pick six, so they took the lesser of two evil. That was the same play, right? He threw it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, I mean, I'll take a safety over a pick six any day.
Yeah.
So.
Poor Dan.
That was a terrible, terrible game.
It was. There was a lot of terrible games. I went 10 for whatever this week in our work league, so I am now tied for the lead. Last year, dead last.
Nice. You're tied with Doris.
Yes. Shelly. Yeah, that's right. Her name's Shelly. We're going to put some respect to that name.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for remembering.
Yeah. So it was a tough competition for him to get ahead of eke out a win versus Gertrude that week.
Yeah. Gertrude was last week. Come on now. I've got some funny stuff in here because that's what we do. You guys know that I always try to find like funny tweets, to put on the show. I've got a really good one once we get into our THNO there. I just thought though, like maybe we're all sitting down, but maybe our viewers need to just, take a seat and just like Ted was taking a seat here and just revel in the moment that once again we do have the model on the show.
Ted, did you also steal that chair like you stole that hat last week?
I didn't steal it. It was approved. It was approved. It was approved to leave the store by one Matt Ferguson. Yes, that hat. Thank you.
That's
Ryan.
the one.
The sales lead, Matt Ferguson.
Yes. Yeah. Is it sales lead? Yeah.
And
it's a great hat. I would recommend going down to Okanagan Lifestyle and supporting a local business. All you guys look like you could use some new hats, especially you, Chris. Probably specifically you, Ryan.
Hey,
Steve, your hat's good.
These are nice in here. Now it's been too warm in Kelowna because otherwise you'd probably see a lot of us wearing these things still, sitting on a stump like a lumberjack.
It's just some.
Too good.
So I was actually dying during that whole shoot because it was like 35 degrees in there, and we were walking around like it was fall. So maybe left some of that.
Can we just go back to the chair for a second? Like, I have all of the questions right now.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, bring it.
One.
I'm a truther. I'll give you all the truths you need.
Is the chair talking to you because you look like you are like deep in a conversation? Like, hey, chair, I'm about to sit on you, but guess what? I'm tilting you just a little bit. Like, what?
No, what in? I was having fun with chair. Chair was a bit tilted, so I feel like I got one up on it.
If you let go, would it stand still? Like,
I was actually spinning it like the Backstreet Boys video. I can't remember what song that was.
I've seen that live. It's good.
Yeah, I was good. And so it was funny to me that I was doing a Backstreet Boy.
Did you have that in your head as you were spinning it?
I did. I wanted it that way.
You come here for football, but really, you're given the gold.
What happened to all the pictures of Chris sleeping?
Oh, we have one of those. Not just sleeping, passed out from booze, which is equally
I don't
funny.
think so. I think he was taking a
No.
break, getting ready for the night. I'm gonna.
He was
Yeah.
out. We were pretty close to doing some really bad things to him, but thankfully he woke up.
I did that again on Saturday night. Had the neighbor over and we were having some drinks and I fell asleep on the couch.
We need proof of this. We need people to get in on this and somehow get these
Actually,
photos sent to us.
there is a photo because Nadine took a photo of me and sent it to the neighbor after the neighbor went home being like, he fell back asleep.
Don't worry,
So-
I'll make sure that's on for next week.
So that photo does exist.
We'll make sure that it's on next week. So we've got that. I'm going to save the tweet for our THNO section. So I guess you guys, without further ado, should we get into this? Should we get into? No, wait.
Get
I
into
got
it.
I get. Here we go. Tom Brady's back. Welcome to THNO Stars. This is the grown-up version. This isn't your father's THNO Stars. This is second season, so it probably wouldn't have been anyway. So
This season's been decidedly more PG than the previous.
it has been. You guys got to step it up. Mainly Chris, because I feel like you're the one that really brings the heat. And maybe we'll get something out of this situation. I promise.
Do you guys want me to send you some of like my Google history or like what do you want? What do you need?
That's why you got kicked out of your last job, I'm pretty sure. So like we
Hey,
actually
I
had
left
to
on my
split
own.
this. Yeah. We left amicably. So let's get into our THNO Stars. Steve, you picked one this week. Thank you. Good job.
I believe I picked all of them for you, and then you guys were just like, "Oh yeah, I'll take that one for you. I'll take that one."
That was actually nice of you. I appreciate that. It's been a busy week, so
I
I
had
didn't have a
extra
lot of time to watch football. Did you guys also saw before we get into this? You guys saw my clip that I posted before. I told you all to start Sterling Shepard this past week, and if you did, not only did he played for the last time this season, season-ending ACL surgery, not the best. So prayers up.
You got all of your last little bit of money out of him before you inevitably have dropped him now.
How many points
I did. I don't know. He had like 3 points.
for the old SS? So you maximize his point potential, is what I'm hearing.
I still lost, but yeah, it didn't work out quite in my favor. And I'm just gonna go double check. But Steve, while you're telling everybody about who your THNO is, I'm gonna look. Here we go. 4.9. He had 49 yards, 5 catches though. He got targeted 10 times. So like I said,
PPR, that's 9.9 points.
that is 9.9 points. And just in case you guys forgot, PPR means points.
There it is.
But we're also in a standard league, and as you guys know, there's nothing standard in PPR. Also, for anybody that happens to be watching, make sure you follow our show on Twitter, and make sure you can comment along on our YouTube channel, because that's how we answer your questions. So, without further ado, because I've delayed you a few times, Steve, who's your THNO this week?
Hey, that's okay. We're used to you being loud. I started off when we jumped on here by saying I don't trust Baker Mayfield, and guess what? I still don't trust his receivers. And my THNO star is a guy who I really thought was going to break out in the league in his rookie season. Let's just hope Baker is not the quarterback going forward. Not like Sam Darnold is that much better, but
is he better at all?
Age of 23 years old, Laviska Shenault in his new team had 67 yards and a touchdown. He is owned in 0.1% of NFL.com leagues.
That's one of those elite leagues, I bet.
Yeah,
like you have like a 20-man roster.
He's owned in 5% of the leagues. He started in just 1%. Yahoo, he's rostered in just 1%. So I can't say no one, but he pretty much helped no one. I don't think. Whatever league you're starting him in, that is a deep league. You took a shot on him. You got a big result out of him. But for most of us, that helped no one.
It's like a Carolina work league, basically.
It's probably an accident.
Best ball league where you don't actually have to set a roster. You just draft, and that's that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's find out how he did. Let's check it out here.
Baker double clutches, then gets rid of it. Laviska Shenault with some room. Laviska Shenault, the former Jaguar, scores on the biggest play of the game for the Panthers, 67 yards.
Widescreen doesn't work so well on
He's
that.
fast. He looks
That
way
was
thicker than I remember.
impressive. Holy, he's fast.
When he was coming out into the NFL, I remember comparisons of him to Tavon Austin. He's just so shifty, so fast, so dangerous with the ball in his hands. He also fits my motto for season 2 of picking these guys, which is all name team. No better name in the NFL than Laviska Shenault. Who knows? Maybe
I don't know.
More as a part in this offense, he could be a guy that sneaks into some deep rosters, and if he's getting opportunity, look what that guy can do with the ball in his hand. Like, the defender had him squared up, and he was just like, nah, and then decided to run through the tacklers. Like, hey, I'm going in between you and my other guy, but I'm still getting to that end zone. So,
and just a little throwback. Laviska Shenault was Steve's preseason sleeper pick, so maybe we're on something here with
I think
Shenault.
you're right. If we would actually watch the show beyond the time we record it, I think you're right, actually. So here's my question then. Now that you've had him as your preseason sleeper, you've added him to the marquee segment of the show, is there a chance we see him as a sneaky start or a sleepy ad in the coming weeks? Are you willing to go that far?
I mean, he's 23 years old. You just saw him with the ball in his hands. He's explosive. I think guys like that, it's worth taking a risk on them if you have, some kind of low-level guys that you're just adding to the waiver wire and you're just rotating, like maybe a Robbie Anderson who's his teammate. Is it worth keeping Robbie Anderson for his ceiling right now of 7 points, or maybe Laviska Shenault becomes the guy that overtakes him and you're banking on that high upside of 15 plus points? It's very possible.
You have a roster spot open if you happen to have picked up Sterling Shepard last week. So
that's right.
So, I mean, opportunities, just saying. Well played. Ted, who you got this week?
Well, I just want to buddy up on Steve's thing real quick, but that should be the basis of what you're trying to fill out your roster with. If you're going to make stash players, they should be guys with an ultimate high ceiling and like the ultimate bust floor, right? So you're not going to pick some veteran up. Yeah, you're not going to pick some veteran up like I might as well. I'm gonna keep Adrian Peterson on my roster because I know he's going to be good for 6 points a week. Like that, there's nothing that helps you win a league by picking up a guy who's got a high floor and a low ceiling, right? You need the boom guy, and if a boom guy goes off, that's what's going to win you a league. So I like that pick. That's a fun one.
Thank you for explaining that to us. Appreciate it. Did he just football explain us? Did he fantasy football explain us? I feel like you did. Chris is back. He's having some wireless, whatever phi means, issues. Ted, now we carry on.
Wi-Fi. Everyone knows that.
Wi-Fi? Got some Wi-Fi issues. I don't want to get in trouble with her. So, Ted, who is your THNO this week? It has to be a real person.
Yeah. So for my THNO, we're going to the Ravens. It was Dobbins' big week. Tons of guys getting ready to start him. Coming off the IR, season-ending injury last year. People were stoked, and this is what happened here.
Second and short. Hill again. First down, and then some. Justice Hill breaks it free. Justice Hill makes it first and goal. 35-yard run. Jonathan Jones finally brings
Justice
Hill. Yeah, so 6 carries, 60 yards, 1 TD. On the day that Dobbins comes back, when 75% of owners are probably starting this guy, and the day that he comes back, Justice Hill, who hasn't really seen the ball in what I can remember in forever, for an impactful amount of games or touches, puts up the best rushing performance of his career. And all those guys that helped and went out and started Dobbins got helped zilch by that. So I don't think anybody was really out there starting Justice Hill. He's owned 2% of leagues. He was started at only 1, so I guess it's not a net zero. But that one was tough to swallow. Good thing I passed on starting Dobbins this week.
Wow. Imagine being one of those guys, or imagine being one of the guys that started Hill. That would have been something.
The 1%, yeah.
Yeah, the 1%. Imagine that one guy just beaking his buddies. Like, do you see that? Like, this will be your week. You've lost every other week.
That was me a couple years ago, starting Alan Hearns in week 1.
Oh, wow.
Like, hit the waiver wire early, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
Hearns.
Yeah. That was like, God, I think that was 8 years ago now. But hey, worked out for me then.
we all do things we're not proud of. Chris, who is your THNO this week?
I'm going with a guy who is the absolute definition of a THNO. He is rostered in 0% of leagues. Therefore, he was started in 0% of leagues. He's 25 years old, tight end, drafted out of San Jose State. He's the third string tight end on his team's roster. Caught his first career touchdown. He's been in the league. This is his third season. Going back to those Baltimore Ravens, none other than Josh Oliver.
Pretty sure I even downloaded. Pretty sure I even downloaded. Let's see.
Inside the one, fake, Jackson, end zone, touchdown! Josh Oliver, his first career score.
Someone taped that. Thank you.
Good
job
on the TD, yeah.
Solid spike on the TD there.
I mean, if you've never done it, you got to do it once.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Steve, can you tell us about Josh Oliver?
Yeah, what do we need to know about?
He was drafted by the Jaguars.
His name is Josh.
There.
Strike one.
Ravens traded a conditional 7th round pick for him.
Strike two.
Just basically fill in. Good for him though. Like that, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like you got to feel for those kind of career guys where it's like you never know if you're ever going to score a touchdown, and you can just, Chris said it, like you see how much he put into that spike. It meant something to him. So
Your Johnny practice squad.
There is a reason he's rostered in 0% of league. So never trust a guy with 2 first names. Just don't.
Owens, Daniels, Owens.
Ryan Hank. I mean,
I was gonna say they haven't figured this one out yet. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Not like Chris Phillips.
And sorry, Ryan, who is your THNO? But
well, I'm gonna preview who I have by this tweet. This made me laugh so hard, and it needs to get the proper recognition. So first of all, let's read out this tweet together. So Dr. Flawed Anderson, the Raiders have never let me down when it comes to letting the most random score a TD and a loss. Greg Dortch and Darrell Williams last week. Xander, like I love it. It's our show, basically. DeAndre Carter this week. Checks Titans roster. Hassan Haskins, Cody Holster will score if they lose. And then he retweets it. Jeff Swaim. It was Jeff Swaim. Like I saw that, I'm like, this guy just made the perfect little preview. So in case you're wondering, Jeff Swaim is my THNO this week. He
get that guy
19 yards and a touchdown. Times are tough in Tennessee, despite who they actually have to give a ball to. But just in case you wanted to see how it happened, let's check out the clip.
Tannehill, the fake to Henry on 3rd down to the end zone. Touchdown, the tight end, Jeff Swaim.
It's an abnormally long clip, so I needed to get rid of that. That was his 6th career touchdown. Came into the league in 2015 with the Cowboys. Have you noticed on our show how many tight ends get love on this show?
That's a small tight end, too. I mean,
talking about butt stuff.
Football looks easy when Swaim is scoring TDs. I'll tell you that.
Attaboy. Chris doesn't even miss a beat. Love it.
Butt stuff.
Tight ends and butt stuff. Go figure. Oh, man. I'm so happy you're back, Chris. Thanks for joining us tonight. I was looking over all of his stats. So he's played in 3 games. He's got 6 catches this year for 38 yards. One of those was, like I said, 19 or 13 yards. Last year, he had 210 yards over 16 games, 31 catches. But, like, this guy's all over the map. He goes from pretty much nothing to, his highest was 242 yards back in 2018 with the Cowboys. He had 1 touchdown that year. He had 3 last year with the Titans. So apparently times are really tough and they had to get the ball to somebody. So he was so good, we don't remember him scoring touchdowns last year. He didn't even make the show last year. There you go. There were worse players than him somehow. Blows my mind.
Much better tight ends last year.
That's true. I mean, we
in my
have...
Google history.
Is that what it actually says? Much better tight ends on your Google. Have you seen the Google in real life videos? You guys haven't seen that? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to send those to you. It's just a guy in an office and people are like asking him like Google questions, and it's so funny. There's one even where they have Siri sitting beside him and she's like trying to be all like prissy and everything. He's like, no, that is not what we're asking for. It's like it's basically what you would assume is in most people's Google history, from the absolute stupidest stuff to like a cat hitting like the K and J buttons, and you just see a cat asking the question and then he just hands some random paper. It's good stuff. Or like, prove that vaccines cause autism, and he's like, there are 1 billion sheets that say no. And he's like, and there's one and she just grabs the one sheet that it's pretty funny. I'll have to send it to you guys. So fun fact.
It sounds funny. I'll have to take your word for it.
It's good. I'll make sure that you guys are indoctrinated for it. So. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Let's get into sneaky starts because I need to go cry. Hey, speaking of people that are done for the season, there's Taylor Lewan.
Is there a worse burn than something like that where it's just so beyond underhanded? Where
I'd appreciate it if you didn't send that to me, but I trust you. Thank you. Perfect. Let's go back to the guy that is roasting me consistently here. Dad, who is your sneakiest of starts this week?
My sneaky start, it might not be the sneaky start, but I think it's a start you got to make, and I'm gonna start Alexander Mattison.
Hey, that's something you can do.
Yeah, so you're going to the Vikings for this one. Cook's got shoulder issues again, the same stuff that was cropping up last year. Add to that the fact that they're going to be traveling across the pond to go play in London. There's going to be some jet lag involved in that. There's always issues when guys are playing in those games, overseas. You don't want anybody tired out. I think platooning it back is the right call anyway. So even if Cook wasn't hurt, I'd probably be looking at starting a guy like Mattison anyways, because every time he gets the ball, he puts up numbers. This guy is like the ultimate handcuff. I think there's a few players in this league. I used to really heavily believe in the handcuff scenario, but I think there's only a few actual handcuff.
I've told, actually. I've had some DMs from a few people that say you believe in the handcuff.
Yeah, I think there's only a few players in this league now where I think if the starter goes down, there's a legit replacement that can do equal or better damage in fantasy football for you. And I think Madison's one of those guys. So start him in confidence. I think you might be able to start him moving forward for the next little while as a viable number 3 in flex. So I just think Madison's a really quality player, and when he's finally going to get his chance to play is now, and this could be what he needs to just sort of show that he's going to be in the mix for the rest of the season.
So starter goes down and handcuffs. Got it.
Yep, you got it.
I like it. I like how you think. I like how you think. Chris, fill us in. Who is starting in the sneaky way for you this week?
So I actually understood the assignment and I didn't just pick like a starting running back for a team because the starter got hurt.
So Najee Harris isn't going to be good.
No Najee Harris for me this week. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Well, that's what I had, so I got to type mine out again.
I'm maybe going with the hometown bias on this one, but I'm saying start Geno Smith this week. He's still available in a lot of leagues.
Wow. Unpredictable call by Chris.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first time I've ever heard that sentence, start Geno Smith this week.
Yeah, start Geno Smith. He's coming off a week. He threw 325-yard performance, 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks are starting to throw the ball more. They're starting to trust Geno to stretch the field a little bit, which as a fan, I'd rather they didn't. He doesn't throw a very nice deep ball. To go from Russ to Geno on that deep ball is a little sketchy. But he's going up against the Lions, who just blew it big time against the Vikings. I think Geno, if you need a guy if you have like Justin Fields on your roster, who's an absolute turd, go grab a guy like Geno Smith, get him in your starting lineup. You'll put in this serviceable week 4 for you, and hey, maybe you'll even come away with a victory.
He actually only threw 1 interception in the last 2 weeks each week. So you're right. I was going to make a joke about him throwing the ball to both teams, but he only did that once. So that's great.
Yeah.
Good for you, Geno Smith. Good on you. You guys spoke. We were talking about this before the show, and I realized that I was relevant today. My sneaky star this week is a little guy named Zay Jones. 10 for 11, 85 yards, and a TD. The Jacksonville Jaguars may have something. Chris, start him next week is what I wrote. So maybe apparently you were losing or something. So
I think he should roll out Geno Smith and Zay Jones next week, and we should just see what happens after.
I like it. I think Jacksonville could go deep this year, and I think Zay Jones is going to be a big part of that. So you heard it here first. I speak truths. I call out guys to start, and then they get injured. So basically, every single person I'm going to tell you for the rest of the season likely has a death sentence attached to it.
I actually had Zay Jones as my sleepy ad this week, and then I saw Ryan had him as a sneaky start. So I was like, we're not going to double up on Zay Jones here.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I agree. I mean, the Jaguars are throwing the ball. Trevor Lawrence in his second season really seems to be putting it together. I don't know if it's Doug Peterson as the coach, or if it's just slowing down for him a little bit now in year 2, or what it is. But I mean, picking up a number 2 receiver on an offense that seems to be firing on all cylinders. I mean, just pick him up, start him. Yeah, I think it's a very smart choice. So Ryan, the only time I'm going to say it, good job.
You know what? You said it once last season, so I've hit my quota. So it's going to be a rough go. It's going to be a rough go for me for the rest of the season. That does suck. Steve, you also get to be involved in this. Who do you have?
Who thought we would be sitting here talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
It's weird. I know. I was
Jacksonville
thinking about
fans.
that too.
Coaching makes a big difference. Doug Peterson has shown what happens when you don't have an Urban Meyer. I was going to a rude remark, but I'll just stick with an Urban Meyer.
Did you guys see that with 2 wins, Doug Peterson is now tied for 5th all time in coaching wins for the Jaguars franchise?
Unreal.
One more win, he surpasses Urban Meyer.
That's so funny.
Makes you think, eh?
Another surprising team of the year are the Detroit Lions. Again, words I never thought I would say this early into any season, really. My sneaky start comes from the Detroit Lions. I added him mainly because I've had him on my bench for the last 3 weeks, and he's really pissing me off because he's scoring a lot of points. And we have this thing on our, if you use Sleeper, it gives you a recap of everything that's happened in the week, and it gives out these like really pointless trophies that make you feel good or really bad about yourself. There's Ted moving chairs again. I won least efficient manager, lowest points in a win, and the most narrow victory because I have been sitting Jamal Williams on my bench this whole season. Last week, he had 20 carries for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a couple receptions for 10 yards. He's not going to be your big receptions guy, but it is very, very clear that he is their goal line guy. It sucks for Swift owners. Whatever. You want to trade for Jamal Williams? I've got him open here, Devin, in our league. So if you'd like to trade for him, he's on the trade block. I need to figure out how to make nicknames because that will be really fun. I saw you can make nicknames for players, so I'm gonna be having some fun here pretty soon.
Just call him
Jamal Williams. He's going against a Seahawks defense that can't stop the run, gives up lots of points to running back. He has a pretty soft schedule going forward, and the Lions are putting up points, which is wild. Like they're just scoring. So start him, see what happens. He's been screwing me on my bench, so he might as well have a seat on my starting roster.
Speaking of that, so I'm in flooring, and we just did this crazy 8x8 shower, and it has a bench in there solely for that. So just
I love this pick. I had him as my sleepy start in week 2, and that was when Swift was still there. So I mean, Swift is gone. I debated adding Reynolds, Craig Reynolds, who I think was a big guy that you added a couple times last year, Steve, as a sleepy ad this year. Or maybe it was Chris. Somebody did. And I just think I don't know. I just
Someone
think that
on the show said those words.
He's so built to just take over for them right now. And it's funny that they're going to lose Swift, and I don't think they're going to lose a beat.
At least
Yeah, I actually didn't even watch any of that. I decided after the Ravens game I was going out hunting. What did Swift get hurt? I haven't watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And yeah, going up against the Seahawks defense, which their run defense looks like parting of the Red Sea. Jamal Williams should have a big game this week.
Just run out of the way.
Yeah. Oh God, don't hit me.
So let's get into. Oh man, did I delete it? No, I didn't. Let's get into sleepy eyes. I gotta change it. That can be. We can have this as like our little logo in the corner. I can always bring back Ted if I need to, which I just did. It's amazing the control I have that you guys unfortunately have to trust me with. So I get to go first because I usually don't. So I don't know if you guys heard about this dude. He was in a movie with Juliet, Romeo Dobbs, Doobs, 39% owned on Sunday, 4% started. The Packers need a wide receiver, and he leads the team. Sammy Watkins is out, and Doobs is in for a lot of targets. I bring knowledge, people. I may not express that I'm the smartest guy in this show. Sometimes I am one of the guys on this show. That's it. That would be my sell. You should add him because I'm not telling you to start him, but you should add him. So at the very least, he goes on the IR for 5 games, so he's not going to be out for the season if you start him. So I've got a threshold of which you can add or start people. So
and if you got an IR spot, stash him there.
Exactly. That's smart thinking, Ted. That's smart. So yeah, even if you don't like the Packers, you're trying to make sure you've got people on your roster that are going to help you out. Bye weeks are coming. When's the bye week start? I can't remember. It's pretty soon. Pretty sure. Although they added the new week, so I haven't really followed the leads. Steve, who is your ad this week?
I am going with a guy who I kind of debated putting him as my start or an ad. Kind of works for both of them. I did watch this game, and man, does Noah Brown look good for the Dallas Cowboys. He's got Cooper Rush throwing him the ball. He's still getting a bunch of targets. He's catching the ball. Gallup is out, but Noah Brown looks like he could do damage at any point in the game. He didn't have a ton of points for me, but I think this is a guy that we were talking about it earlier, a guy who has that higher ceiling. He's got wide receiver 2 potential, especially if CeeDee Lamb decides to let footballs go through his hand. So I'm going to add Noah Brown. I already added him in our league, so
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I always add them first, and then I put them as my.
Whoa,
ad.
What's that cool logo?
Yeah.
Chris went to the Matrix, apparently. It's pretty neat. I'm impressed.
What the hell did I do?
It's a shredder throwing star.
Pretty sure he's
awesome.
like, guys, I got to go cut my lawn here.
Ted, would you like to be involved in this segment?
Yeah, sure.
Who would you like to add?
Yeah, I mean, my guy could be a sneaky ad or a sneaky start depending on what your depth is, but I'm going to Buffalo and I'm going to add Isaiah McKenzie. Guy had himself another big week again last week in week 3. It's weird, right? Because he's one of those guys, and I think we talked about this a little bit earlier off the show. There's like guys who play on bad teams who are number 1s and get all the targets, and guys who play on good teams who are lower in the pecking order, but they just do so well that they're going to pick up spots, right? So in this case, he's a number 3. I don't normally add guys who are number 3 receivers in offense, but when your quarterback's throwing for 4 bills in the game, stuff's going to happen. And Isaiah McKenzie gets the ball for Buffalo. So I'd be comfortable adding that guy and just stashing him on my roster and just waiting for a good week to start him.
You know what I'm thinking about Buffalo? They're the kind of team that if they're losing by, let's say, I mean, it's not going to be really happening this season, but let's say they're down and the game's not looking. They'd be a fun team for garbage yards this season. Like, there's some fun talent on that team. They're not going to be in that situation, but it's just random thought. Sometimes I get those. Chris, what do you got for who would you like to add to the mix today?
Yeah, my sleepy ad for the week, which Ryan just pointed out, I spelled his name wrong in the doc, but that's okay.
Corrected it for
He
you.
is
If you look at it.
rostered in 9% of leagues, and that is, of course, I'm going to say this wrong, Samaji P. Ryan. Don't
You
know.
added an O in there, so that's probably where it screwed you up.
Probably. Joe Mixon's dealing with a banged up ankle. They've got the short week this week, playing on Thursday night against the Dolphins. It might be something, it might be nothing. I don't know, but I think P. Ryan is worth an ad.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, grab him, stash him on your bench if you have to, because if Mixon misses any time, you want a piece of that Bengals offense.
This is from a few shows ago, but it's still funny. I gotta
Oh
delete that
man!
one. Sorry. Sam J. Perone.
And what are the better beards in the league?
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Aside from our deep ads and the sneaky starts, is there a guy this week that is that you're expecting to go off this week? Steve, do you have anybody you're thinking of, like somebody that you think is going to blow off for like 2 or 3 touchdowns, or maybe a quarterback for like 4 or 5?
Lamar Jackson.
That is a safe answer, and you're probably right. That's a likely possibility, but in case
Kyle and Kayla, who are in our league, Kyle's like, oh, last week he goes, oh man, I just got Lamar'd, and then he had to relive it with Kayla this week, and they are less than happy that Lamar Jackson is just kind of torching everybody he comes across. Yeah, I don't really have one off the top of my head. I believe Jamal Williams will, because like Ted said, he's just so equipped to fill that RB1 role with Swift down and out. Yeah, I don't really have one off the top of my head, but
Chris, you got anybody you're interested that you think is going to blow up this week?
Rashad Penny.
This is being very predictable right now. That's cool. That's cool. Ted, is there a Cleveland Brown, Ted, that you're expecting to?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple of Cleveland Browns that are going to have typical big games, but that's not where I'm going. I'm actually going to Baltimore for this one. I'm going to take J.K. Dobbins is going to get rolling because I think this was just the first week back, and I think that next week they're just going to like turn him loose, man. Wheels up for J.K. Dobbins next week.
You know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping for a Cam Akers big week. It likely will not happen, but I'm hoping for one. I feel against San Francisco, and I play you this week, Ted. He's probably not even listening. He's just sitting there smiling, probably like checking like a voicemail inside of his headphones or something somehow. I do play Ted this week, so I am hoping that Cam Akers does some good things for me. I also have Cooper Kupp, so I'm good there. But Cam Akers would be my guy. He would be my guy,
so
and I have no affiliation.
Since you and I are playing this week, then does that mean that we need to make some sort of public bet?
Let's roll the dice. I didn't mean to do that. That just kind of happened right now. Yes, I think we should. It needs to be.
Is it a 20-sided dice though?
No, I only
roll your D20.
I only brought the 6-sided this time. No one told me I had to bring a 20-sided dice. So.
Bella's rolling for perception.
Yeah. So, what should we do? Let's make this interesting. And I don't know how we do that because I don't see you that often. So
hair versus hair match.
Ooh.
A what versus what?
Hair versus. He doesn't have any hair. I have all of the hair.
It could be a beard versus mustache match.
No, not. I can't do that. That's too close. That's too close to home. This is why Steve doesn't bet, because real things can happen.
He doesn't bet because Kyle doesn't pay his bets.
Okay, so I mean, I can like manscape like half my chest.
No, but you do that anyways. We'll come up with something and not kill time on the air.
Oh, this is a tough one. Maybe we should get people to guess, like something realistic that I think we should put that to people, because I think things get weird if you guys are trying to make something happen. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we've got everybody. We've done our stuff. This has been a great week. We're going into week 4. Can't believe it's already week 4 of the NFL. It always blows my mind when we get to that point. You guys, this has been, an absolute butt punting of a show. I love it. I love that we can just get together sometimes to talk about butt stuff in a controlled setting. You know what I mean? I know Chris likes it, so that's his jam. So
there's a reason you can only see the top half of my body.
Interesting. Do you guys want to see the Patreon? We don't have one, but I didn't even mean to do that.
Nobody's paying for that OnlyFans.
There's someone out there. There's some freaky people out there. There is. So this is That Helps No One FantasyCast on the Blundell Network. Make sure that you follow us on YouTube because then you can comment along. You can follow our Twitter account. We've got the stickers coming pretty quick. I'd like to be able to give those away, mail some of those out. You can stick them on your laptop or on like a lamppost or I don't know, somewhere.
Children's foreheads.
I love lamp.
I got a glittery one, so if anybody's, if you want to be fancy football, then we can make sure that happens for you. So, any final words, guys? Steve, you look enthralled. Ted, you're very into this. Chris, bail me out here. Any final words?
Bye, Ryan.
Sweet. I'm Ryan. This is That